Good. How's everybody today? Good. Just in review of the last game, players played hard in the game, competed well in the game. I thought we played, more physical, um, executed fairly well for the most part. But as in all first games, there's a lot of opportunity to correct things that we didn't get quite right. And I think that uh, it shows a lot in terms of how a team is approaching the season and how much you improve from the first game to the second game. And so the players having the right mindset relative to the challenges that we have internally on our team to get better is important to being able to get those things fixed. I think that games like this are something that players certainly look forward to. It's great that Jalen got recognized as SEC Offensive Player of the Week and Caleb the Freshman of the Week. And but both of those players who played well and obviously got recognized for it, also have to continue to look at the things that they did well and build on those things, and hopefully that confidence helps them in the future. But also stay focused on doing the things that they need to do to improve in terms of their consistency in performance and execution. And I don't think there's anybody on our team who doesn't have something that they could actually improve on relative to their performance last week. So, Texas, I think everybody knows Sark is a really good coach. They've got a really good team. They've got a veteran team returning with, 10 starters on offense, 6 on defense. Really good skilled players on offense, really good quarterback, can throw the ball effectively. They make a lot of explosive plays. Worthy's an outstanding receiver. They've got good running backs. They got a really good tight end. They're very good on defense. They play really good up front. They're physical. They played extremely well in the first game. And they're excellent on special teams. So this is a really good team all the way around. And it's going to be an opportunity for our team to sort of, where are we as a team? Where are you as a player? You're going to play against a really good player. And that usually says, where am I as a player? And this is going to be a good barometer for us to find out, where are we as a team? And so we're going to focus on doing a great job of trying to get our guys to prepare to, play a great game and do a good job in terms of execution. I know it'll be an exciting game from a, fans' perspective, and we love that atmosphere and environment that they create. But I think one of the things that's really important for players is, can you stay focused on, what you need to do and not get affected by, a lot of the external factors.
Start with Chase.
Can you update us on Malachi Moore and Jalen Key, who you mentioned Saturday?
They're both day to day, so it's probably too early to tell what their circumstance will be. Probably be a couple days and we figure it out. But I don't think either guy has long-term issues, but it'll be interesting to see how they progress this week.
Come up here to Charlie.
Another quick one, Emmanuel Henderson, do you have an update on him?
He has a hip injury. It's going to probably be a few more weeks before he gets back into the swing of things, but hard to know exactly when. They'll do some rechecks on him here next week or two, and he was having a great fall camp, doing a great job on special teams, made a lot of progress as a receiver, so we'd love to get him back.
Go to Matt.
What do you think of how Caleb Downs played in his first game?
I think Caleb played, really well. He plays fast. He's physical. I think that was a really challenging game, especially for a young player to have to play with all the formations and adjustments that we had to make, and I think he handled it really, really well.
Go to back to Ryan.
Coach, I know every year is different, but that game last year in Austin, do you look back at all when you're prepping for this team and see, I know 3 went out in that game in yours, but do you look back at all with that game last year?
Well, I think, you're always looking at what a team does technically and it's always most interesting to see, what was their philosophy of what they did technically to, whether it was play defense against you or attack you offensively, or what they did on special teams. So I think you use that information as a history of maybe what you might see again, and other things that they did periodically, that changed. So I don't think you look back on a game from a psychological standpoint as much as you do a technical standpoint.
Okay, let's, Steven.
As he continues to push, Coach, how much growth has Kendrick Blackshaw made as a linebacker?
Yeah, he got in the game and played, fairly well. And I think that the big thing we work on with, Kendrick is consistency and performance. When he's locked in and focused, he's plays really, really well. But you got to be able to do it all the time so that you develop, the kind of confidence, trust in yourself and your teammates that you need to be a consistent player overall. But played well in the game when he got a chance to play.
Back to the right, Nick.
When you and Greg Byrne discussed years ago about moving from neutral site openers to having more home and home games, for you, what was behind that, or what kind of interested you in doing that?
Well, I think that one of the reasons that we did, games away from home, whatever, what did you refer to them as? Neutral site games, okay. Neutral site games, good way to term them. Was from a scheduling standpoint, it was a way to get a quality opponent on the schedule early on, which I thought had a lot of benefit in terms of your team developing in the offseason, looking forward to that game. Probably the Clemson game that we had, what was that, the second year we were here, probably did as much to sort of ignite the program in a way. But then after you do that for a while and you start having success and fans are going to playoff games and bowl games and different things, they don't have the same significance. And then to have more quality home games for the fans to see becomes a little bit more, I think, important. And I think that's kind of, in a nutshell, sort of why we transitioned back to this. Not to say that if we had an opportunity to play in a game somewhere in the future, we would. But I think that changes also with, conference realignment and what could happen in the future with, how many conference games you might be playing. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Stay right here with Kenny.
Two-part question. What did you see from players like Christian Story, Earl Little, Trey Amos when they were able to step in on Saturday? And then as far as the communication in the secondary, what did you see on tape, and how important will that be against Texas on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's really important all the time, and it's one thing that we're constantly harping on is to get good communication. And, specifically about the players that you ask about, some of them played really well. Some of them have things that they could improve on. And, sort of didn't play with the poise that you need to play with, maybe a little anxiety first game, whatever. But we need all those guys to continue to develop and play well because, right now Smitty's already down and you got two other guys that are, not able to practice at least today, maybe someday in the near future. So it's important that we develop young players and that these guys have a chance to develop confidence, which I think just the fact that they got to play in the game should help them to some degree see what they need to improve on as well as build on the things that they did well.
Back with Jamie.
Hey, Coach, can you kind of share the feeling you get whenever you walk in that tunnel, you have your whole team behind you, and you step out on the field before a game? And by the way, your hair looks great this season.
To me, it's always exciting, the challenge of playing a game. It's especially sometimes challenging when you play on the road and everybody's against you. And it's also a great feeling when you play at home and a lot of folks are for you and the enthusiasm's great. The players are excited about playing, and it's what you work for all week long. And, I'm usually a little nervous, sort of leading up to that, but sort of when we go out on the field, kind of all goes away and you start focusing on, okay, what's next? Here's the coin toss. All right, we're going to kick off, we're going to receive, and then it's one play at a time, and all that kind of goes away. So, but it's exciting. I mean, there's no question about it. And certainly the great atmosphere that we have in Bryant-Denny Stadium contributes to that excitement when you're playing at home.
Katie?
How encouraged were you by turnovers on Saturday that the defense was able to force two and then the offense and special teams held on to the ball?
Well, you know, we got 2 turnovers. We had a third ball on the ground that we probably should have gotten. We didn't turn the ball over, which is a real plus offensively or on special teams. So you always want to have a positive turnover ratio, so we're +2, so that's a positive thing. I thought there were times when we could have had a little better ball security, which we will point out to the players. And there were some other opportunities maybe where we could have got some balls out. So when you're emphasizing turnovers and not turning the ball over, those are always things that you're trying to focus on.
2 more to finish, Mike and then Nick.
So what did you see from Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson when they got into the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think both guys handled the situation well. They executed fairly well. I think it's a good opportunity for both of them to be able to, you know, learn from some of the things that they did, get some really good game experience, both guys. And I thought they both did a good job.
Finish with Nick.
What did Deontay Lawson show you on Saturday in terms of leading the defense and communicating everything?
Yeah, well, you know, he's a bright guy. He's a signal caller. Didn't disappoint us at all, you know, in the game on Saturday, and we were getting a lot of multiples and a lot of different things. But he did a good job. He had a good game. He played well. He was productive. So, you know, I think it's important that we keep, you know, getting that kind of performance because, you know, linebacker is such an important position in setting the front, stopping the run, but also, you know, getting out on run pass and being able to match the patterns the way you need to. And he's certainly a bright guy and has done that extremely well.
Thanks, Coach.
We good? All right, thank you.